Hi, welcome back. I just want to show you really quick, well, as quick as I can, 3 really large junk journals that were custom ordered for the most wonderful woman. And she handpicked these after seeing a few of them on one of my haul videos. This one here, just spectacular, from 1951, The Art of Color and Design. It's a larger, if you can see, a regular size compared to it. You can see how large it is. I kept the original first pages in, and everything else, as she knows, she's ordered quite a few of my journals. Everything else is authentic, antique and vintage ephemera. So I added, this is from 1915. This is from 1926 Delineator magazine, huge spread. I've got lots of lace, early 1900s art book. It's a wonderful plate from 1937. Look at this gorgeous plate here. Isn't that lovely? Oh my gosh, I think she's going to be really happy with this. She also does artwork inside of them. So this is just a little mini book that she can have fun with. Another great 1940s Beacon Lodge attendance form. And then I made this out of an antique book page and tucked in a check from the Rhode Island Hospital National Bank from 1930s. That neat. She can journal in there. She can have fun with this wonderful 1950s magazine page. Look at this wonderful woman here. I love advertisements from the 40s and 50s. Just mind-blowing how nostalgic it makes me. I just love this 1930s, this one is the 40s children's book page. Look at their little roller skates. Remember those, if you're my age? Another wonderful plate from the miscellaneous Ideal Speaker for Children book. That is quite old. Another art page, 1951. This is also from this one is actually from 1930. And then I put another pocket here that she can tuck her own things into, but I'm also going to tuck this plate here into it. Also early 1900s. Just a lovely, lovely little mythical plate there. I love the florals. That's from the early 1900s, a cocoa and milk page. Old vintage maps. This is really wonderful with, the bird's nest on here. And just wonderful fuzzy textures. She loves textures and all different types of medium, and I just love that so much, the flycatcher. I was able to find some blank antique pages, and when I couldn't, I just added 1 or 2 tea-dyed pages. I made this beautiful huge doily here into a little pocket. She can pull that if she wants to untie it. And this wonderful 1884 page here, I didn't do anything to it because I liked it just the way it was, and she might have a lot of fun with that little piece there. Sometimes I'll leave pieces just as they are because they're too precious to change, and I leave that decision up to the owner of the journal. Look at busy Mother Nature. Oh, I am so in love with birds. She'll love this. It is from the 1951 art book on color. I love this children's book page. Another vintage botanical page. Children's book page here. And again, this is another one. Look at that. This is from the 1940s. From this book, and I put this wonderful vintage hanky in there with the embroidery on it. It's quite special. Look at that. How pretty is that? I love it. So I think she's going to have a lot of fun with that as well. And an old map in here. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Oh, this is from the early 1900s. Love it. Paper tearing, because she does some of that in her art as well. So just, oh my goodness, it just goes on. And then she's also getting this one here. I hope the camera can pick it up. It may not be able to, but it's got this wonderful embossing of a person with open arms. There's planets and stars up here. I can see Saturn. And down here, I can see 2 lions. And then there's faces here, which are wonderful. So a really, really fun embossed piece. She was in love with that embossing. I added an antique handle on there. It is from the early 1900s, pulled off of an old dresser that somebody gave to me. And the original first pages again of the book. This one's from 1936. Love it. This was a really interesting book too. I'm going to use a lot of the insides of this, but this was my favorite Princess Elizabeth, who eventually became Queen Elizabeth. And I love the old tape. I mean, people pay to have fake tape, and it's awesome when you get it as a gift in its original form. Oh, Susanna, I love that old song. Lots of fun clusters. This is from a how to type book from the 50s. This is from the early 1900s, this beautiful English garden book page. You would think it's modern. It is not. From an old shell book for children, vintage from the 60s. More song pages. I've got pockets here that I'm going to put some postcards in, but I still have to go through my postcard collection to do that. This is from a teacher's book, teaching kids about seasons, and I just love the colors. They're so bright. More nature over here. This is from that English garden book, and I made this for her out of an 1800s lesson book. I love it, and the insides had fallen out long ago. In fact, when I got it, they were in 2 pieces, and I just added some vintage and antique paper inside and made it a little mini book, and she can add to that as well. And I love this was a big pattern booklet, and I loved the measuring tape down the side. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. This is a plate from the early 1900s out of another antique book. Pocket here. This is from a 1953 yearbook with the autographs in it. Vintage school book. Another plate from the 1800s here, and that is from in Farm and Field. Look at the bunnies and the wild turkey there. And I just thought this was a fun page. Funny stories from a school or a children's book. And just this is from a 1950s home ec book. Love it, with the vintage paper inside and just some more vintage paper here for journaling on. And another one of these wonderful teacher's pages. And that is made from the interior of an antique book. And this very early 1900 postcard, I love the blues on there. It's fabulous. I've been holding on to it for a long time, but time to let it go and live somewhere else. And this wonderful piece of crochet here. This one has a ton of crochet layers, like just 5 or 6. Another great, this is from the 40s, and you can hardly believe by the photography that is a 40s photograph. These women are just having so much fun. Flowers, blink and a nod from the 30s. This is from the art book, the first art, color, and design. Also from the 1930s, 1932 piece here. Another wonderful fuzzy children's book page. Look how cute. And this is one of my favorite pieces ever. I was going to frame this, but this is a very special collection of journals, and I really, really wanted her to have this. It's Nature's Fluttering Color Boxes, and I mean, she can cut this very carefully and frame that. I would. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and I think she's going to absolutely love it as much as I did. And more children's pages, more botanicals from the early 1900s, more crochet, more plates from the house called Yarny. And here's another plate from the English garden book, early 1900s. And look at the color on that. Spectacular patterns. Oh my goodness, still going. More, 1955, that. Whew, okay, and the last one. This one is so big, I had to move the camera up to get it all in. This is 13, so it was very challenging to get pages in this, but I wanted to be true to the size of the book and not cheap out by making them 12 inches or 11 or smaller. So I kept in the first, of course, the first pages, because this is a spectacular book that I got from an art gallery that was getting rid of it. They were going to throw it out, and I rescued it. So there's this plate here, and then of course you have to have this one. I forget the name of this one. I think it's Gertrude is Giggling or something like that. Oh, it's the Mona Lisa. I'm kidding. Most famous portrait ever. So yeah, she gets to have those, and that's where they're going to live. I hope she has fun with that. Metropolitan Art Museum, 1958. This is from 1920s, the Delineator magazine. Look at the fashion. Love it. Just some really fun advertisement. Remember these floor polishers? Am I aging myself? Oh, God, help me. Another wonderful early 1900s English garden page. I made another little booklet here out of a whole bunch of antique, little pocket, antique papers. That's actually from an old dust jacket from a book. Yeah, just so she can have fun with that. And big journaling spot under there. And this is another plate from this book. Little spine of another book I had. This is also the spine of this book. I wanted to save as much of it as I can. Little music sheet here. This is from the 40s, which is during the war. So some really interesting stuff on here. Look at the glamour girl. She's fabulous. Now this has an interesting story. This, I took a piece of needlepoint out of a frame that I got at a garage sale. And this is something you'd see on Antique Roadshow. I pull it out and this is on the back. So this is on one side, this beautiful watercolor. It's just somebody who nobody famous, I hope, did that on one side. And then on the other side, there is this amazing plate. And I've got the feeling that this is very old and it is French. I can tell by the words down in the corner here. Du pain fil something. And yeah, so to die for. I hope she loves it as much as I loved it. I've had it this long and haven't used it because of its size, and I never wanted to cut it down. So when she got this journal, I knew this had to live in here. I think she's going to love it. It probably has some value. I hope it does for her sake. And there's a vintage school book paper and just what I just call this a window pane. I don't know what people call it. That's what I'm calling it. And this is fabulous. I got this from the Delineator magazine. Look at that Campbell's soup ad. As vivid as the day it was printed. Just wonderful. And then on the other side, look at this image of this gorgeous flapper girl. You just can't beat this. Another page from this book. Lots of crochet. These are all so old. And here are 3 plates from the Yarm, Holmes History of Yarm book, which is a place in England. And then again, 2 plates here. Look at how pretty these are. Little Miss Muffet and the 3 Bears from the 1920s school book. And there's that famous picture of portrait of Pinky. Famous painting. 1890s Demarest Family Magazine. I think she already has a few of these, but there's another one. And look at this plate of flamingos. Look how wonderful that is. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun making this. I can't even tell you. This is another plate from a book. Somebody had written on there and somebody else went and blacked it out. But it's fantastic. A little pocket there. She can stuff more things in there. Another plate from this book. I just pulled that out. I love these cocoa and milk ads that I got from the 1800s. This is the spine of another book I had, Practical Woodworking from the early 1900s. That was from a library. Another plate from this book. This is eco printing, and I made this at a course I did up here in our botanical gardens, and I love it. And I had some left, and I made the pocket out of that wonderful 1920s wallpaper border that I have that is to die for. This came from an 1800s ginormous masterpieces of art book that I don't know what I'm going to do with. It's just full of original plates. This came from this book as well. 1955 American Road Atlas. This came from the 1920s blank work paper. This is the leather cover of an old book that disintegrated. I could not reuse it. And this is from this book as well. The portfolio page had a tear, so I just repaired it with another piece of vintage paper. I'm getting there, I'm getting there. Another plate from a little art book from the 50s. Birch bark from Canada. Kind of my signature. 1915, this one. 1950s. 1955 Polish embroidery. 1970s botanical book page. 1940s teacher page. Oh, I love the color in that. Also 1915 tea-dyed paper page from this book. The original pocket from this book after years and years of having been passed around, and I just put in this as a little bookmark or anything she would like to make out of it. It's the back of another book that was disintegrated, but I liked the little girl peeking around the tree and the dancing pig. And I tucked that into the library pocket. So hope she loves it. Hope you enjoyed this little tour. If you want to check out some of my other journals, go to hyperstamper.etsy.com. And yes, I do custom journals, so email me below. Bye for now.